Bruno, that was a fantastic comeback, a famous win.
Oh, obviously, it's always important to win the game. Doesn't matter, as I said before the game, for us, doesn't matter the opponent, the most important is winning, and we did it. It was an amazing comeback, great effort from the team. I said it before the game to the team. We look like a team now. Some months ago, some time ago, you could see sometimes a team, sometimes a little bit, each one of us looking a little bit for ourselves, but now you see a proper team that works hard for each other, and you see that it pays.
The first goal was a little bit controversial, because Marcus was offside and you're in own goal. Did you shout? Did you call?
No, I think because I was facing the goal, Marcus probably saw that I was in a better position. I didn't know if any of us was on offside or not, but it doesn't have any influence because there was no one closer to him. So it doesn't make any influence on the teammates to defend. The only one close was one close to me, so it is what it is. But it's a goal at the end. We are really happy for that.
Marcus, the winner. I thought you were injured in the first half. You were going to make the second half, but I mean, what a finish.
Just a little knock, but in games like this you have to just try and push through, and thankfully I managed to do that. Obviously scoring the goal at the end and winning the game, and that's what we set out to do. As Bruno said, that's always the aim before every game. This game obviously is a little bit special, but either way we're pleased to have the 3 points and continue winning at Old Trafford.
Needed something to lift you, because at the start of the second half City looked like they had control. Garnacho changed things. He added some pace in there, didn't he?
Yeah, it's a change of dynamics, and I think I've said this many times before, but the options that we've got coming off the bench, even when we've had injuries this year at times in the forward line and everyone's played out of position. Bruno played out of position today. But as you can see, everyone's putting a shift in, and when you've got players like Garner, young, hungry, full of talent, ready to come on and make a difference, and anything's possible. But yeah, like I said, we're very pleased to manage to come back, win the game, get 3 points, and now it's about recovering and moving on to the next game.
And there's no doubting the significance of this result, particularly when you look back to October. You're now 1 point behind City.
That doesn't matter for us. We have to look forward. We have to look forward for the next game, because you can be closer, but if you don't keep winning, they will go. So the mentality now is to be celebrating, because it's a big win on the derby. It's a long day today, so we have to celebrate that. But from tomorrow, straight away head on Crystal Palace. It's always tough to play away there, we all know that. So our focus has to be straight on that.
It was a nice interchange for that first goal. I think he could do the same for Marcus. Hand that to Bruno, he's player of the match. Well done, gents, well played.
Dreaming once again at the Theatre of Dreams. Manchester United have only lost once in their last 19 in all competitions. Rio, Paul and Jolyon with me. Deep breath, Jolyon. What was your biggest concern or disappointment from a City point of view?
Yeah, the result, obviously. Derby day win, you want to do that for the fans. And it's been a disappointing result, game and week. But for me personally, it's the detriment it does to potential title race. Bigger picture, and the greatest respect to United and who they are. This is a derby game, but for Man City, it's about winning the title. And obviously that's detriment to them today.
That's a little dig there, isn't it? He couldn't help himself.
A little one.
He couldn't help himself.
It was all City at the start of the second half, though, Jolyon. They took the lead. Just have your moment here and just talk us through how they picked Man United apart for that goal.
No, obviously Pep recognised the frailties in the first half, and he tweaked it a little bit, and then Kevin De Bruyne exploits the space. And unlike the first half, he played the ball to the back stick, and Jack Grealish, great substitution, obviously came on and scored the goal. But listen, at this stage of the game, City are comfortable, not creating loads of chances, but very comfortable in possession and been able to create the tempo. But yeah, obviously the outcome of the game isn't great.
And that was their only shot on target. They didn't have a shot on target in the game against Southampton as well. Yeah,
again, that would be worrying. The fact that over 2 games, it's 1 shot on target isn't great viewing for City. And unlike Pep's teams and that we've come to see, but again, there's obviously something going on there. But I'm not too worried. It's 2 games over the course of the season. I'm sure there'll be trophies there at the end.
And be honest, at that point, Paul, did you genuinely think Man United had a chance of coming back?
I thought if they get 1, there's a good chance of getting 2. It's always likely to happen over the atmosphere. As Jolyon said, I thought City were in good control of the game. 20 minutes after half-time, you was slightly worried. I thought Marcus looked injured to me. He looked like he was injured or lazy. I'm not sure what it was. But these superstar players, they can produce moments that win games, and you have to keep them on the pitch at all times. And I think a special mention for Garnacho as well. I thought it was a massive influence when he came on. Arguably a bit more of an influence than Anthony was, and he's shown when he's come into the game he can beat a man. He's so quick and create a goal. It looks like he's going to score. He runs through all the time, and he made United look really dangerous.
And that equaliser is the controversial goal. Rashford was clearly offside, Rio. Peter Walton, though, saying he left it, didn't touch the ball, wasn't interfering with an opponent. I think I know what you're going to say, but how did you see it?
It's a goal. No, I just don't think Marcus doesn't impact any of the defenders' running strides, running patterns or positions. And I think it's intelligent from him. He's probably had a shout from Bruno, but intelligent from all of them. It's a great pass initially. He is offside for Rashford, but it's a fantastic finish after that. Cool, calm, collected, clinical. But I just don't feel that any of the defenders can really impact this play anywhere.
He's interfering with nobody, isn't he? He's not interfering with any of the defenders. He doesn't touch the ball. I think will have a big influence on it. And you have to say at the end of it, good communication from Bruno. He must have been shouting Marcus to leave it. It's a lovely finish.
Yeah, Paul recognised straight away that he wasn't interfering, and I was just hoping he dummied the ball in some way, so Bruno could finish it off. But yeah, it's onside.
Is any defender though going to expect that not to be given?
That's the rule. That's the part of the rule I don't like. The defender's done well to play offside, and he's interfering in the run and in anticipation of the defender. So I seen it the other day against, I think it was Wolves, Liverpool, in a similar situation. I'm thinking if he's not there, then the defender clears that up. But yeah, again, it's one of them. Marcus actually isn't interfering. He's offside, but he's interfering.
Some will say, City fans, it's at Old Trafford, Manchester United, getting the decisions.
Well, you've got to put yourself in the position to get the decisions, and you've got to make yourself a dangerous team at times. And I thought we didn't do that as much as you would have liked here at Old Trafford. But when we did, I said we got in there and we were clinical. But people listen, they're going to say, because it's Old Trafford here and there with certain decisions gone on in the year. I think, listen, over a quarter of a self out.
And then just 4 minutes later, you already spoke about Garnacho. Just talk us through how good he was in the build-up to that winner.
I think he's been good every time I've seen him this season. I think he's been a real threat. As I said, I thought he probably should have come on before Anthony, although Anthony, he does have his strengths, don't get me wrong, but this lad is direct. He doesn't care. There's no fear in a young player. He wants to score goals and he wants to make goals, and he's more than capable of doing it. You see against Aki, you fancy him, but it's only his first ball wasn't great. He got away with that one a little bit, and then all he does is he puts it into an area, and thankfully Marcus is there, and the 4 Marcus is on. You expect him to score, and he slides it on it. So
you know what?
Big win.
He's a player who, with his age, he has no fear and he's not affected by reputations.
No,
so for instance, I see a lot of wingers face up with someone like Kyle Walker, and because of his reputation and his attributes, pace, strength, etc., probably come back and keep passing it backwards. But him, oh no. That was a winning goal. That's what happens. Wow, but yeah, sorry.
On fire, isn't he, though, Marcus Rashford at the moment? Just flying, especially here at home.
He's unstoppable. As I said, for the first 70 minutes, I thought there was something wrong with him, honestly. I thought, well, he did obviously look like he was injured, but he just didn't look the same. He looked like his appetite had gone a little bit. But as I said, with these players, they can win you games at any point of the game. They can just turn it on like that. The speed, the power, the strength, the finishing ability. And again, he's won United another game today.
Paul and Jolyon with me. Well, at this stage in October, Man United were 4-0 down. Rio, what have you made of the way they set up and started today?
When we spoke before the game about making sure the midfield wasn't as easy to play through for Man City as it was in the last game, I think today they've shown that. I think the 3 midfielders, I think Fred especially, has been man-to-man a lot of the time on De Bruyne. But you see they're shielding balls through the lines, not allowing balls straight through into people to be unmarked spaces in those pockets between the midfield and the strikers. I mean, midfielders and the defenders, and they've done this really, really well. They've shuffled across the pitch, haven't allowed players to really get them balls where they're turning and facing the Man United back four, and I think it's been really important in that sense. And all 3 of them have had different ways to do this, but Fred, as I said, has been man-to-man with De Bruyne, and I think most of the time he's shuffled him away from danger areas and really made him uncomfortable at times in possession.
How well have they stopped the City supply, Paul?
I mentioned before the game that's what it was all about, stopping the supply to Haaland. Look, he's had a couple of half chances. I think Fred has done really well against De Bruyne. De Bruyne is still such a clever player. At some point he will find space and create something. He looks like he's going to do that a couple of times. Rodri also, I mentioned before the game. has not really had a big influence on this game, and every time I've seen he's had a major influence. So Eriksson on him as well. I was a little bit surprised that it was Eriksson the one on him, but he's done a good job in keeping him quiet.
A few nervy moments for you, Jolyon. What have you made of the chances Man United have created?
Yeah, majority of them have come from lack of concentration, sloppy passes from City, which is unsurprising. But on the other flip side, if they're the only chances United are going to get, you kind of look to eradicate them in the second half. Here obviously it's a great chance and a bit of rush of blood from Ederson, surprisingly, but it was cleared up in the end. And as I said, City haven't missed the ball enough going forward. I think in possession they could have played the ball forward a little bit quicker. It just forces United back and a little bit deeper, and then creates more space and time for the midfielders.
As well as United have defended and stopped Manchester City, I think they could just add that little bit more belief up in forward areas, you know. And
that's the worry there, Paul, though, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, Marcus going down. I know it happened again. It looked like it was his groin or his thigh, but again, he got up last few minutes and looked okay. Martial, I thought, didn't look totally 100% fit to me as well. So it'll be interesting what comes out second half.
Yeah, it's been a really interesting first